Welcome to Kitchen Table Talk. It's cold outside, but it's warm in here. Just feeling the mood for a little hot cocoa. Today we're going to talk about our license, protecting our license. RN, L.P.N, and sometimes CNAs need to protect their license. But I know how you feel, CNA, about your license. But for the RNs and LPNs out there, this is your bread and butter. You need to keep it safe. No call, no show. This might not get you might not get your license taken away for not showing up to work. After all, you don't want to work there. But this is how you would run into problem with no call, no show. I'll give you a little incident. You walking, true story. I knew before let me backtrack. I'm orienting to a new facility, so I came to work that night. I said, I'm here to be oriented. The nurse that I saw at the desk said, you're working by yourself. Now, this is my first day at the facility. I haven't been on the floor. I'm a new orientee. I'm an experienced nurse, no doubt. I know how to get in because I'm travel, and you have to act like you've been there for years. But they're supposed to have another nurse working with me. I'm just shadowing the nurse, meaning I'm walking with the nurse. She's going to show me, and then eventually I'm going to take over while she monitored me to make sure I'm safe and I'm ready to go on the floor. This particular night, they had no nurse working with me. They said, you're on your own, you're by yourself. Now, if you're a new nurse, you think that was okay. I got a job and it's like, cool, money. I'm going to do this by myself, but don't you ever do that by yourself. So you know what I did? The nurse said she was going home, so she said, just take the key. Somebody gonna come. I said, hold on to your key, honey. Who is is there a supervisor in the building? She said, no, you're gonna be the supervisor. So I'm the supervisor and I'm working the floor and I'm a new nurse. Okay. So I asked for the supervisor book. So I looked up the DON number, and I called her in the middle of the night. This is working 11 to 7. And I said, my name is Patrice Foster. I'm a new employee. I understand there's no nurse working here with me. She said, well, we're going to get someone. When? Well, I'll wait till you get someone. That's what I told her. I'll wait like 5 minutes till you get someone. And I told the nurse, I'm outside in my car waiting. When they get a nurse come in the building, then I'll come back in. I move myself out their building, out of their premises, because they're not going to leave me by myself with 120 patients. That is dangerous. Okay, I'm the RN in the building. Don't compare me. The other nurse said, well, Susie did it last night. Well, I'm not Susie. And maybe Susie been here before and she's dumb enough to take that position, put her license in jeopardy. I'm not Susie. Don't compare me. That's what I wanted to tell her. But I was calm because I'm a new employee and I have to put on that facade like I don't know nothing. You're going to think you're going to walk over me, but you're not. And then it's like 10 minutes after, nobody came in. So I went back in And I said, did you get in touch with the DON? Did she call you? Because I talked to her. She said, somebody's supposed to be coming in. She said she didn't. Well, she said the DON called her, but apparently they can't get anybody. I'm not counting with you, I said, because I'm not going to be in this building by myself. As a matter of fact, tell the DON that I'm available tomorrow to continue the orientation. I'm going home. And that's what I did. I go home. I'm safe. Here's where the problem comes in. Had I taken the keys and count with the nurse and then realize that I'm by myself, I cannot go back and say, here's the key, I'm going home. Once you take the key, you're committed. It becomes job abandonment when you decide to walk out because you've already counted the narcs. You obligate yourself. So that's the administrator or the DON could file with the Board of Nursing. I don't know, to be honest, how they do it in Georgia, but I know up north. I'm telling you, really, I think up north, the northern state, the eastern state is pretty update with the rules. And I'm pretty sure Georgia either catching on or is the same. But they will report you, and that's how your license could be suspended. You have a chance if it's suspended for a couple months or revoked. And even if your license is revoked, it's very hard to get it back, but it can be done. That's one. Number two, abuse. We all hear in the news about abuse to patient. But this abuse I'm talking about is a little different. I'm not going to go too much into it, but I had well, he wasn't my friend. I worked with a nurse. It was a male nurse, very handsome. The girls love him. And his wife also worked at the facility. They were L.P.Ns. And she would come to work beat up. As a matter of fact, I didn't really know them. I just hear the story while working there. In other words, I didn't really talk to them. I know the situation. She always come. Then she had a cast on her hand one day. And I heard that he used to date the administrator, and then he dated the DON, and he burned down the DON house. I don't know how true about that one. That was allegedly he burned down her house. He was abusive to all these women. This last wife that he married, I guess her friend told her to file a report with the Board of Nursing. Last time I checked, this particular guy, I saw him on the streets of Philadelphia. He was selling insurance. So I went back and I asked his wife. And I heard that he lost his license. That's what I'm talking about. Because of this falls under ethicals. You have to carry yourself as a nurse a certain way. You can't beat up your wife, beat up your kids, thinking that it's going to go over with the board. Because what happened is, if you deal with kids, that's a potential. If you deal with older people, you can be abusive to them too. And that's what they look at. And I think that's why the decision was because there was numerous women that he dealt with and he was always abusive to them. And they have evidence. And he lost his license in Pennsylvania. Another one is number 3, addiction. You have to be very careful and you have to be aware of who you're working with. Having an addiction in nursing is, I would say, the nurses that work with us, that it's not something that we talk about much, and it's not a secret because you can tell by the nurse will come to you and ask you, can you pull up my narcotic for me? First of all, the floors are busy and nurse come to you and say, can you pull up my narcotics? You haven't wonder what the hell is going on, that I got to pull up her meds too. I almost got into a situation with that. Excuse me, it's getting cold. I almost got into a situation, but I had to think fast. The nurse asked me to pull up her meds. I was working at, I'm doing a video. I'm doing a video. The nurse asked me to pull up her meds. I did. And I gave it to her. Damn. Stupid me. I don't think you should be able to you should give it to them to give, because I'm not sure if it's going to the patient. But what I did, it just dawned on me, I follow her to make sure she's giving it to that patient that she said. And I look at the orders to make sure that's what it is. So she never asked me again to pull up her meds. I guess I'm too militant, they say. I will watch. I need to know, because if you have, and the only way I knew that, because nobody tells you that they have a problem. She alerted me by asking me to pull up her narcotic for her. They can't go near the narcotics. So, because she alerted me, nobody was going to tell me. I went and looked her up. You can look up anybody you want. The board of nursing, put your name in. You could put my name in. My license is okay. Active, no discipline. That's what I did. I looked up her license and I saw that she had some issues, and the state gave her, it was like a program they put them on, and they have to be on probation for, so she and another guy, actually 2 or 3 of them in that facility, that were making me nervous. One of them was a supervisor. Sorry. And they have a program. Now, you could get your license revoked because you did not complete the program. In other words, you did not tell the facility that you have these things on your license. And believe it or not, I work with somebody who kind of just changed their name, the last name become the first name, and I don't know how they work as a nurse. I really don't know. And when I looked it up, I could not find them, but it was a suspicion. If I work with a nurse and she's always disappearing, you put me in charge of these people, always disappearing. The patients, she's always in a hurry to give your narcotic. I'll do it for you. So I get suspicious and I look them up. And it's not a HIPAA problem. I'm not discussing them. I just need to know who I'm working with. And the board of nursing put all of our names on there and what we do and what we can't do. And if we have a problem, they put it on there too. So you can look. And this particular nurse changed her name. And I don't understand how she was able to work as a nurse. But anyway, I think she lost the license too. Am I on number 3 or number 4? That's number 4 is what we just talked about, using another nurse. Another one is using another nurse license. You will be surprised what they would do in nursing. You will be surprised how some nurse loses their license. I read, I don't know if anyone hosting a PRON, PRON, sex site, website, that could get you revoked your license for good. We had a nurse that was a male nurse, and he was selling all the nurses nice cars, luxury cars, BMW, Lexus. And a friend of mine, she was gonna buy one too. He was selling it for cheap, cheap, cheap. I'm not buying from nobody. I'm a little cautious of people. I'll go to the dealer. So they were buying up the cars. Next thing I know, these nurses, they got stopped by the cop. These are stolen car. This is the male nurse we work with every night. We work night shift with him, and he would take his lunch break. I don't know what he's doing, and I'm the supervisor. I don't know what that man was doing, but all the cars that the nurses bought from them, it was stolen car. So he lost his license too. The reason why I'm telling you these stories, I hope not to discourage you. You want to keep your license for a long, long time. Somebody asked me today, are you still working? Duh. Who's going to pay the bills? I have to work. But that's not the point. I replied to them, I plan on working as long as I can. And that's what having a license can do. It, it can provide for you as long as you want to work. If you want to work when you're 100 and you think you're capable, go on. Go on. You can do it. But if I'm in a situation like I'm working in a facility that I know that there's going to be some dangers, I just have to hold on. I have to believe that I'm going to get out of that situation safely. But I don't deliberately put myself in that situation. I have a right to walk away and say, when you get the nurse in here, first of all, on orientation. 2 nurses supposed to be there. Susie, who does, here's where the problem. They said Susie did it last night. Susie gave meds to 120 patients. I doubt that. She didn't give one pill, I guarantee you. She might have did her side and slacked the others. How can you do that? Okay, forget about it. If they didn't have any medication, okay. So I go down the hall by myself. I'm in this, think about this. You're in the building, 120 patients. You're the only nurse with maybe 4 CNAs. Down the other end, if a problem, 2 or 3 problem kick off, these patients may not be on the rehab. They are not DNR. You need to know all their status. Do you really know all that? What if something happened? Can you do CPR by yourself? Those CNA may not be able to help you. They'll be so busy, they'll be disappearing. What are you going to do? You're on your own. And when you get in front of the board, what you going to tell them? The facility made you do it. It ain't about the facility anymore. It's about you and your license. Protect it. Because nobody care about it but you. If you have kids, protect your license. And that's the truth. Protect it at all costs. And you let them know because they know it. That second night, that's like about 2 weeks after, the situation happened again. But this time I got on the phone and called the DON. And you know what she said? I'm on my way. because she know if she wasn't on her way, my I'll say see you, adios, goodbye. I'll come back when you get another nurse. I wasn't on orientation this time, but I wasn't taking the keys and I wasn't going to be by myself. I got on that phone. I called her. I said, do you know that I'm working by myself? She said, I'm on my way. And do you know she came? In less than a half an hour, she was there. And I would not clocked in until I see her visible in there. Then I clocked in. Sorry. If you don't want to hire me for that, I'm not going to put my license in jeopardy. I'm not taking responsible for all that. First of all, I think there should be other more nurse, but that was the case. But I'm not going to be by myself. So if Susie want to continue, because it's not the first time I work with her, she does that, and I told her if you want to keep doing it, go. You don't want. She's like a. She doesn't like confusion. I don't like confusion, but I know when to stand up for what I think is wrong. Now, the DON didn't like me calling her in the middle of the night. Well, I said, well, you needed to have a nurse here. And she had to come. Within a couple of days, she must have came a couple more times. Then all of a sudden, I heard she resigned because DON, they're in the office. They don't want to come in and work, but they have 24-hour responsibility. It wasn't right that she had to come in, but she had no choice because she doesn't have any nurses to come in. They knew this before I came in. They knew this 2 days ago that I was going to work. I was working by myself. And they didn't fill the slot. They couldn't fill the slot. And I'm not blaming them for that because there's a shortage all over, from hospital, nursing home, rehab facility, pediatric facility, clinic. Everywhere there is a shortage of nursing. I don't understand it. I don't. I think the schools need to push out more nurses, or I don't. You know what? It's just a difficult subject that's been going on for so long. So I want you to keep your license. Keep it. You work hard for your license. You went through the stress of nursing school. Don't let no one take it away from you. And that's a wrap.